See if oh. All right. Okay. Oh, we got a fella just came in. We're going to give him some time. Oh, you take your time. All right. Okay. All right. Woody, how you doing? We'll let this fella. We always want to wait for the pressure. Our social media is going to be live. All right. This is great. We got all the teachers that helped. Yeah. Let's see. Why don't y'all come a little closer? Don't worry. Y'all want to come in on this side too? Yo, these legislators are great people. They're here working with you. You ain't got. Don't be scared of them. Yeah, y'all come in. All right. There we go. Y'all come. Yeah. All right. You doing all right? Everybody else is ready? All right. Well, look, good morning. It is absolutely an exciting day today. I think that this press conference really, again, shows that our educational reforms are not a one-stop shop, and that a lot of what we do is really part and parcel of a much, much bigger picture. I want to first introduce a couple of people that are here today. Of course, we've got the state superintendent, Cade Brumley, the teacher of the year, Kylie Altier. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice Cajun accent I got. And of course, we've got the chairman of the Senate Education Committee and the chairman of the House Education Committee, Senator Rick Edmonds, and Representative Laurie Schlegel, and a number of legislators. If you would just raise your hand so they could see y'all. And let me just say this about the legislators that are here and some of the legislators that could not make it. You know, last week we had an historic vote over in the Senate on our Gator Scholarship Program. And for some legislators, it was tough. It was a tough vote because they were consistently being told that their vote was an anti-public school vote and that it was going to harm public schools. And I want to just clear the record on that. In 14 states that have put in place these types of scholarships, there has never been, not one public school has closed. However, what we have seen in this state are many school districts that are currently under severe stress. And there have been schools that Cade has had to go in and work with the Department of Education and the school boards to rectify some of the problems. And we made a promise on the campaign trail that we were going to put our kids first, that we were going to work on public safety, and then we were going to work on education, and then we were going to work on the economy. And I believe that that's a commitment that many of these legislators that are here, standing here today and that could not make this press conference believe in as well. And so while we had an historic vote, and there were a lot of undue and innuendos and criticisms that were wrongfully placed, I'm here to tell you that what we're doing today is making sure that our public school systems are just as strong. You know, my mother was a school teacher. Y'all have heard me say it again and again. She started her career in the public school sector. She finished it in the parochial school system. And what she would tell you if she was standing here today is that the environment today does not allow teachers to teach. And so I commend the superintendent and Kylie and all of these teachers here who are standing with us for working on a program that we dubbed Letting Teachers Teach, right? Because it is high time that teachers go back to teaching. We want them to teach kids how to think, not what to think. We want those classrooms to be learning experiences, not babysitting environments. These teachers are not social workers. They are teachers. They get into this profession because they love kids and they have a calling to teach. And we want an environment in our public school system where teachers are respected and where they are rewarded. Because when they are respected and when they are rewarded, their students perform. We also believe that over the past decades, there have been a lot of undue mandates placed on our teachers, things that really don't belong on their shoulders. And this legislature and the men and women that are standing with us today are here to say that we're not going to place any more on their shoulders. In fact, we're going to work to take things off of their shoulders that allows them to get back to the basics of reading, hopefully writing, math, civics, the things that help to build a foundation for kids in this state so that they stay in this state and that they can be absolutely productive citizens. And so with that, I would like to bring up the superintendent so he can tell us about some of the talking points and things that these teachers have come up with and actions that we're getting ready to take on the Let Teachers Teach program. Cade?
Thank you, Governor, and thank you all for being here today. Governor, I have personally given you credit, but I want to do it publicly. In your inaugural address, when you were laying out a vision for the state, you said one of the things that was important to you was to let teachers teach. And so I ripped you off, and I took that tagline, and we created the Let Teachers Teach work group. And so it's been a real honor to work with them. And Governor, I appreciate all the support that you've given me as we try to improve educational outcomes in the state of Louisiana. I also have to recognize the BESSY members that are with us today. BESSY members, just raise your hand if you're with us. Thank you for your commitment to students every day and working with me. Also, House and Senate Ed, as well as other members, you guys have just been great to work with and try to push forward a bold agenda. But my most sweeping appreciation here today goes to the roughly 30 teachers who have taken part of and being on the Let Teachers Teach work group. And these teachers are representing about 50,000 teachers across the state of Louisiana. And so I gave the group 3 challenges. And this was not going to be a check the box exercise. It was going to be solutions focused. And I told them, right, Kylie, many times, I expect solutions. I want things that can be implemented. And so I said I wanted them to address the excessive trainings and onerous paperwork that they face. I want them to address the fact that many teachers are being forced to read from a script and being calling that teaching. And finally, disruptive behavior in classrooms that are preventing teachers from teaching and preventing other students from learning. And so that was the charge that we gave the group. So today we come with a set of 18 teacher-friendly recommendations that do not cover every single issue that might be a challenge in our schools across the state. For example, these recommendations do not prioritize issues such as teacher pay, although we do call on the legislature on behalf of BESSY to fund the teacher stipend that is being considered right now. The recommendations do not cover issues like certification, which are oftentimes too complex. They don't cover issues like testing and accountability, which I will tell you, I'm most interested in both of those things, and we will work on those fronts. But that said, these proposals today are a call to action, a call to elevate the teaching profession, a call that keeps students first, and a call that requires school leaders, system leaders, and state level leaders to act. We have made educational progress in the state of Louisiana. We recently were able to share that we were ranked 40th in pre-K through 12 education. That's the highest the state has ever ranked, but it's not good enough. And we still have more work to do. And so teachers have played a critical role in the success that we are seeing. And so these recommendations today will show teachers that we have their back and that we are taking action to support our teachers across the state of Louisiana. Teachers often tell me, can you just help make my job a little bit easier? Just a little bit easier. And so with these recommendations today, I think we're able to say yes, that we are going to make their jobs just a little bit easier. So teachers in Louisiana, know this, help is on the way. We will restore common sense policies, We will protect your valuable time, and we will bring law and order back to school campuses in the state of Louisiana. So here are a few of the recommendations, not all, but my top 10 list. So number one, and these are simple things. At the beginning of the school year, provide teachers with uninterrupted time to prepare their classroom. Give teachers time in their classroom to prepare the classroom for when students are coming to school. Number two, shift mandated trainings that have been legislatively created to a cycle, not annual trainings, making teachers go through the same exact trainings year after year. I want to give credit to Representative Owen, Representative Romero for their work legislatively on this front. One thing the governor and I have already discussed is the need to decouple student behavior and the school accountability system so that teachers and educators across the state have the ability to deal with students who are excessively poor behaved, not meeting expectations, or ungovernable. Teachers have said, would you please trust us and not blame us? So I want to thank Representative Stadney for his work on bringing a bill that will remove students who are problematic in the classroom that are disrupting teachers from being able to teach. Placing ungovernable students in the middle and high school levels at alternative sites so that they're not on site to continue to disrupt the teachers and the other students from learning. Taking cell phones and making sure they are off and stowed away during the instructional day. That was the number one concern we heard from the teachers. A very simple thing, get the cell phones out of the classroom. I want to thank Senator Mizell for her work on this key issue. Pay teachers for after-hours, non-academic work. Teachers realize they have to grade papers. They have other parent communication that they have to do, but they're often asked to do non-academic work after hours, and they deserve to be compensated. I want to thank Senator Miguez for his work on this critical issue. Stop forcing teachers to be mental health professionals. Students should have access to mental health if they have a need, but teachers should be focused on ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, not being forced to be mental health professionals. It's a disservice to the students, and it's a disservice to the teachers. Eliminate the mandate to read scripted lessons across the state of Louisiana in our schools. And finally, abolish antiquated lesson planning requirements for our teachers. And so our recommendations go into further detail about all of those key issues. And so with the report that we're providing today, we will transfer a copy of the recommendations to the governor, the Senate President, the House Speaker, the Senate Education Committee, the House Education Committee, the State Board of Education, school boards across the state, and school system leaders across the state. And our sincere hope is that these recommendations will be taken seriously at all levels, and that priority will be given to these proposals so that teachers can teach. At this point, I would like to invite a great ambassador for the state of Louisiana, Louisiana's Teacher of the Year, Kylie Altier, to the podium. Kylie, you did a great work in chairing this committee. And I just want you to know personally, I am so impressed with you every time we engage. And I want you to know how appreciative I am for the work that you've done in chairing this committee. And Kylie would like to give a teacher's response to the recommendations.
First, I would just like to thank Governor Landry and State Superintendent Brumley for the opportunity to be here today and chair the Let Teachers Teach workgroup. I would just also like to acknowledge the exceptional teachers that have been a part of this group. And through this work, I've gotten to connect with teachers all across Louisiana. And if you seek hope for our future, look no further than the one standing behind me. Every day, these teachers and all teachers wake up and choose children. We are here because children are the greatest gift. Teachers teach for the big moments and the small. We're here to help them solve intense math problems or even write their name for the first time. And let me just tell you, no offense to anyone, this is the best job. There is not a job more fulfilling or better in the world, all because of children. However, the reality is that many teachers don't feel they have the time, capacity, or autonomy to do this important work in a sustainable way. So we join with the LDOE and we set out on a simple mission to let teachers teach. We wanted to ensure the world changers that we call educators step into their classroom each day filled with joy. Because there's nothing I want more for my own children who go to McKinley Elementary School with me, or for all children, just to be surrounded by happy teachers. It is my hope that these recommendations will serve as a springboard to reduce teacher burnout and add longevity to teaching careers. For teachers to be truly effective, they need to have agency to craft lessons that highlight their own unique teaching styles and meet the varied needs of their students. While high quality curriculums and pacing guides are essential when it comes to educational equality, they will never be able to see the children in the classroom. Curriculums teach content areas, but it is teachers that teach children. When teachers have flexibility and trust to make the best educational decisions, it is the students that win. Furthermore, I hope these recommendations can improve the classroom environment for teachers. We do our best every day to be 100% present with our students, but due to extensive administrative tasks looming, we're not always able to give them all they need from us. But today, Louisiana has a unique opportunity to be educational trailblazers. We have the opportunity and the ability to make a bold statement about the value we place on teachers and the vital, critical work they do every day. But it's also a statement to our children of our state that they deserve educators who can give them their very best. It is time to let teachers do what fills their heart with joy, and that's teach. So with that, I'll pass it back off to Governor Landry.
Again, finally, I think it's interesting that in a country that is founded on liberty and responsibility and freedom, that we have placed actually all of those attributes out of the classroom and away from our teachers. And so what we're hoping to do today, thanks to Kylie and all of these teachers, and certainly Superintendent Cade Brumley and the legislators that are here today, is to bring freedom and liberty back into the classroom by allowing these teachers the ability to actually teach their students rather than gum them up in more government bureaucracy. So again, I want to thank the legislature for their commitment to following up on this. I want to thank the teachers for working with the superintendent. And I want you to know that this is a commitment that I hope we can continue to have these types of press conferences on an annual basis, or we'll do it as often as we have to until we get a classroom environment where y'all are actually teaching our children and they are learning and they are becoming productive citizens and getting great opportunities to live out an unbelievable quality life back home here in Louisiana. So thank you so very much. And with this, we'll take any questions that may come. Yes, ma'am.
Ask about the points about not having teachers read mandated scripts in the curriculum. There's a few bills moving through the session right now that restricts what can be discussed in classrooms. And in a lot of those debates, legislators say teachers need to stick to the curriculum. So it seems those are kind of contradictory. How do those go together?
Well, I mean, sticking to a curriculum is not sticking to a script. Those are two very distinct things. A curriculum says these are the subject matters, these are the ideas, and we hope that teachers take that curriculum, put that into their creative teaching talent, and then bring that to bear on the children and to the students. So those are two separate things. Curriculums and scripts are two. This is a script, okay? What we're what we're doing today is a curriculum. Letting teachers teach is a curriculum. Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
plan to take this to all school districts or just East Baton Rouge?
Oh, no. This I believe is a statewide effort. Look, this is a commitment that I made to public school teachers in this state, so that we don't continue to have this divide, right? Under which the legislators are told they have to pick winners and losers in education. Because when we have to pick winners and losers, the loser is the child. And so again, this is how we build a foundation in this state that covers education in mass. Yes, ma'am.
Governor, there's also a point in there about absenteeism and about involving district attorneys and juvenile justice systems. So it seems there's kind of a criminal aspect to that. How are you addressing that issue with them?
Oh, look, absolutely. Look, what I think is remarkable about what Cade laid out based upon the recommendation of these teachers is that you hear a constant theme is that a disruptive class is not a productive class. All right. And for some reason, I know, okay, I promise you, if you could find some of my teachers, they might admit that I might have been a little disruptive, but I was put out of a class and I couldn't go back until I learned to be productive. And I think that somewhere along the line, we highlighted the disruptiveness over the learning. And so we want to bring some discipline back into those classrooms. Remember, an education environment is an institution. Make no mistake about it. Education and teaching is an institution. And inside of that institution requires discipline and requires obedience and requires respect. And that respect is two ways. That's why I would think that the other thing we should work on is more parental involvement as well. But in regards to the juvenile justice system, we want to make sure, one of the things I've spoken to these legislators about is certainly in our juvenile detention facilities, we need to be doing way more from an educational front than we are doing today. You have heard me on the campaign trail when I found out that if you're in a juvenile home, that only the educational opportunities only go to the behaving inmates. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, if you were behaving, you wouldn't be in the home, right? And certainly we want all of those juveniles to have access to educational opportunities as well.
Last question.
Yes.
There was recent efforts made by the legislature to try and catch third graders in particular up on the reading level. I was wondering if the superintendent could give
Absolutely.
an update on where we are with those numbers.
Yeah, thank you. So look, there is nothing more critical in elementary schools than foundational reading and math. That's where we're trying to go back to the basics and everything that we're doing. Last year, for the first time, thanks to the help of legislators and some of the policies that they passed, we saw in our third graders, for the first time in 5 years, reading growth. And I attribute that to much of the work that our state board has put together, our legislators have put together, and the energy and the jazz that we see that around that in our school systems. And so we are returning to a foundational model for both reading and math. Now, I will say there are still students, obviously, who are behind. And that's why we're focused on high dosage tutoring through this particular legislative session as well. And we've made a request for funding because this upcoming third grade class will be the first set of third graders that this retention law applies to. And so we want to do everything within our power during this upcoming year to make sure that they're successful. And also, I would mention, it's really important that schools interact with families so that there aren't any surprises to a parent at the end of the year if the child doesn't meet the mark.
Okay, again, I would like to thank the teachers that made their way to the Capitol today, and Kylie and all the legislators in Cade. We do appreciate it, and we look forward to continuing to work on education in the state. Thank you.